Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. This time yesterday we were tracking some active weather far from here. There was actually some severe weather happening in places that, well, don't see severe weather too often during this time of the year. Over parts of New Hampshire and in the Northeast. Check out this video. A rare tornado happening there. This was captured in May, and look at the condensation funnel you can see there with that, and that tornado in the Charlestown area of New Hampshire. This video was from last night. You can clearly see that the funnel's all the way to the ground, which that classifies it as a tornado, and it's in contact with the ground. NWS surveyors have preliminary rated it as an EF1 with max winds of 90 miles per hour. New Hampshire averages how many tornadoes per year? Take a guess. One tornado per year. That is the average there. Well, we got it yesterday, but very interesting fact there coming in from the northeast. But what a view, and you could see all the rain. Typically what happens when the tornado passes, the rain will wrap in behind the tornado, but many times you get what's called the rain-free base, and you can really visualize the tornadoes. Typically we tell storm spotters you want to be south of the storm. Around here we often see those tornadic storms move southwest to northeast. Sometimes they can move in odd directions when you are dealing with a tropical system that's moving in from the south. But as we get over to our weather, no tornadoes expected here across Alabama. The deep south dealing with some much hotter weather. And our weather headlines as we move ahead, we're going to be talking about highs tomorrow in the 90s. It's certainly going to be a hotter feeling day. We got a better chance for storms coming this weekend and possible rain that's going to continue into next week. That chance for scattered thunderstorms. But here is a look at the First Alert AccuTrack radar. Dry at the moment, and you look at the temperatures. That's showing 82 in Fayette, 84 in Gaston, 86 in Columbiana. It's hot when you look at the temperatures, but it doesn't feel too bad out there. It's more of a dry heat, and it can certainly feel more oppressive when you start factoring in the humidity, and thankfully at least that component is helping us out with respect to comfort levels. But that's going to change a little bit over the next couple days. We start to get some of that mugginess back in the mix. In fact, tonight's lows in the upper 50s in many areas. Tomorrow night we'll have lows around 70 in many areas. So it's going to grow increasingly muggy here over the next few days. Highs in the 90s. And also what that will do is bring an additional chance for a few isolated pop-ups. I know yesterday we were talking about dry weather, but if you checked in with Jill today and saw the alert there on the weather app, we did put in just a small 20% chance of a shower. So that's one of the next things we'll watch out for tomorrow. Maybe a couple of pop-ups. Some of the high-resolution model data you can see there's from our Barron model, picking up on maybe a couple sprinkles or a stray shower. So if you do encounter that isolated shower tomorrow, don't be surprised. We don't expect anything unexpected. It's in the forecast. So a little bit of rain. I'd still plan on watering. It certainly doesn't look like we're going to get the kind of rain that we need, but this weekend that could change. We could deal with a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. Let's show you what's coming up, and we're going to talk more about the weekend and also talk about this hot weather and how this compares to some of the records that have been set in the past. I mean, what kind of heat levels are we expecting? We're going to talk with the hotter weather, some hot car safety tips, pet safety, and long-range data. I've had a lot of questions getting out there close to Memorial Day weekend. We actually started talking about it right here last week. Tropical system in the Gulf, maybe. What are we seeing? Well, we'll break that down for you coming up right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us. The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare a First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us, on air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we first alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Well, hotter weather over the next few days, but are we talking record-setting heat? Well, Mickey Ferguson lets us know.
Hey, we've got a first alert for those hot temperatures as our weather team's been talking about, getting into the mid-90s, and that's just by Thursday. So this is really, really toasty stuff for this time of the year. Will we set or match or break a record? Well, in Birmingham, for example, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're in the upper 90s, 98, 98, 97. So I don't think we'll necessarily break a record in Birmingham, but we could get pretty close to it this week into Tuscaloosa, because it typically gets a little warmer into West Alabama. So 97, 97, 96. Maybe on Friday we could tie or break that record set 59 years ago, back in 1962. Okay, as far as the humidity goes, it's really been nice today, as you probably are well aware by now. But the low humidity allows drier air and the moisture to evaporate, which cools your body. When we have this high humidity and the high temperature readings, the humid air really does limit the evaporation, which makes it more uncomfortable and could just get dangerous if you don't watch it out there. So heat exhaustion tips, let's go back to that. Never leave kids or pets inside a parked vehicle. Drink water, stay hydrated, reduce the strenuous activities as you can. Just take breaks if you can to keep from overdoing it outside. And you can do so by just coming inside for a little while, cooling off, or finding shade. And wear lightweight or light colored clothing, and that will really help things out.
All right, already talking about that hotter weathers. In fact, some of the hottest weather that we've had since last August around the area. And of course, with this kind of heat that we're dealing with, it's incredible just how hotter it is. If you open your car door and you haven't been in the vehicle all day long, it's like a heat box in there. And Matt Daniel explains just the contrast in temperatures and some hot car safety, some good reminders as we get closer to summertime.
All right, we've been talking about the heat on the way for the rest of the week, so it's all about the safety of everyone. And unfortunately, around this time of the year, it's unfortunate that we have to report stories of children being stuck in the car and then having them unfortunately pass away from the heat. So always check the back seat. You don't want to leave your animals or kids in the back seat if they can't get out. In fact, we have seen dozens of deaths over the past several years. Back in 2011, 34 kids passed away from just being stuck inside the car. In fact, we had a peak of about 53 back in 2018 and 2019, and we've already had one this year, and that was reported in Georgia. So always check the back seat. And just to give you an idea, 88% are ages 3 and under, and this is all from noheatstroke.org. So let's talk about the heat and how that impacts you if you are stuck in a car based off the air temperature outside. So let's say you're inside this car right now, and the temperature outdoors, very comfortable, 70 degrees. You don't want to even crack the window open. You just want to make sure nothing's in the car, because guess what? In 10 minutes, it can heat up to 90 degrees inside the car. And in 20 minutes, almost close to 100 degrees. It's near 104 degrees in 30 minutes and over 110 degrees in just 60 minutes if something's left inside the vehicle. What happens when the air temperature outside is 80 degrees? Well, you guess it. Those temperatures inside the car, even warmer. In fact, you're causing some issues. Even in about 10 minutes, it gets close to 100 degrees, 110 inside the car within 20 minutes, and in half of an hour, almost 115 degrees. And yes, within 1 hour, it can get up to 123. So that is some hot stuff, and that can cause heat exhaustion, heat stroke. And when temperatures outside are very hot, at 90 degrees or above, it doesn't take long. 109 in 10 minutes, 120 almost in 20 minutes, 124 degrees in 30 minutes, and over 130 degrees in 60 minutes. So once again, check the back seat. Avoid just unrolling those windows. Nothing needs to be inside the car, especially if you're deciding to stay there for 10, 20, 30 minutes. And of course, keep your pets safe too. Make sure they don't stay inside the car either. And just a reminder, if you're going out and walking the dogs, make sure their paws are on the grassy surfaces, because during this time of the year, the pavement, well, it can be really, really hot and can burn their paws as well. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and of course, stay cool.
And thanks, Matt. That is exactly correct. We're going to be talking about, as we take a look at the problem with the pets in the car, because it doesn't take long, and I've seen this many times. The windows cracked and you think they're fine. It can get so hot in there, even with the windows cracked, in just 15 minutes, you can have your animal die of heat stroke. So no window cracked, they're not in the vehicle, period, is the way I like to look at it. So during the hot weather, or even when it doesn't seem too bad, you know what, if you're parked in full sunshine, that vehicle is going to heat up fast. That pet better not be inside of it, because we don't want anything to happen to them. And as Matt was mentioning, you know, you want to, if you're going to take your pet out for a walk and you're going to be walking on pavement, things like that, well, it can get very hot very quickly, versus the air temperature may not be as bad. So for example, it could be 78 degrees outside and you think, oh, well, that's not bad. Well, the concrete could be 95 degrees. The asphalt could be 115 degrees. So the key is put your palm down and you test it out. If it's too hot for you, guess what? It's going to be too hot for their paws. So the best time of day to usually walk them, if you're going to be on that kind of surface, is going to be either early in the morning or later on the evening when things calm on down. But if you're just letting them out the back on the grass, well, you're good to go. Just make sure they're not out there too long if it's hot, because again, they'll need some water and to get back inside and stay cool. Of course, we're going to be talking about the tropics. We're watching an area that could develop and may not. And then we're also going to be talking about, at the end of our show, something a little bit interesting about goats and how they can help folks out, especially when there are invasive species of plants. So stay tuned for much more on that in Weather Extra.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worry about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
Very dry conditions across the area, and it's really helping us out with the heat levels. In fact, you look at the temperatures and you check out the feels like temperature. It feels a little bit cooler because we have a breeze out of the north. It's very dry. 86 in Tuscaloosa, 85 here in Aliceville, Birmingham at 84 degrees, 82 in Center, and Coleman right now at 79 degrees. But dry weather expected for tonight. Very comfortable if you're going to be out and about, and this nice comfortable weather is going to continue into our Wednesday morning, so it's going to feel pretty good when you step out there early tomorrow morning. Try to get an early start, beat some of that hotter weather in the afternoon because it is going to be quite steamy. 9 o'clock tonight, you can see 60s in many areas. Again, we'll bottom out low 60s, upper 50s. Not too bad for our Wednesday. Get out there early. There's winds changing direction. We get that south flow back in here, a flow out of the southwest. It's going to bring in some more clouds, becoming partly cloudy, especially across West Alabama in the afternoon. But notice by 1 o'clock, again, we start out upper 50s, low 60s, and then we jump into the 90s that quickly. It's going to be a hot day, hot afternoon, and then it's going to start to feel a little bit more muggy into tomorrow night. There could be a couple of showers, though. Still seeing some indications, maybe a couple of pop-ups as we get that moisture axis starting to move in. Maybe a little bit of convergence there, just enough to set off a couple stray showers. So we did include a small 20% chance of a pop-up for late tomorrow. But looks quiet tomorrow night, but noticeably milder. Again, I mentioned upper 50s in a lot of areas tonight. Check out Thursday morning, close to 70 in a lot of areas. So a little bit more of a soupy feel out there early in the day to start things off. The rest of the day, it's going to be quite steamy for Thursday and mainly dry. Those higher rain chances coming in this weekend. We got another cold front on the way, and we get into May and June, July. By definition, we call them cold fronts. Basically, by definition, a cold front's any kind of discontinuity, and typically it's just a boundary. It's going to move in here. It's going to bring some drier air, drop those temperatures a little bit, but it's going to set off some rain, and we're going to start to see more of that wet weather by Sunday. I think Saturday, if you have plans, we'll stop it here. The way this is trending, there's going to be some scattered storms and showers, but Saturday, much like last Saturday, maybe not quite as stormy, but there's going to be some pop-ups. Just keep an eye on the radar. That's the way it's looking right now. Of course, you know, it's only Tuesday, so we still have some time to watch it. So check in with us right here on First Alert Weather Extra over the next couple of days as we fine-tune that weekend forecast. But Saturday afternoon, it looks very summer-like. There will be plenty of breaks, some sunshine in the mix, but scattered showers and storms. But we'll have to watch the evening. Notice there indications we get a south flow coming in here out ahead of that next front that moves in. Look at Sunday. Looks like the chances are there in the morning and afternoon. We could be tracking some wet weather. So comparing Saturday to Sunday, I think Sunday afternoon this go-around could be the stormier setup there later in the weekend. But that system stalls out, and it looks like it's going to be with us into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now the temperature drops a little bit, but with this boundary nearby, that's going to produce some more scattered areas of rain and storms at least into the start of next week. And we're going to check in with Jill here coming up in a minute, but I just want to show you here one thing we're watching on down the road. We're getting closer to Memorial Day weekend, and we were seeing some indications of maybe a tropical system trying to develop in the Gulf. We've gotten a lot of questions. Hey, I got Memorial Day weekend plans, anything coming up? At this point, all of our long-range data, or at least two of our primary long-range data sets that we look at right now show just possibility some scattered storms, but we were seeing some indications there on the GFS model, the American model, one of the deterministic global data sets suggesting maybe a possible tropical system. It's been showing that for several weeks, but it's just too far out, too much uncertainty at this point, but it does serve as a reminder that the Atlantic hurricane season is right around the corner. But that 7-day forecast, we brought in that chance for a shower tomorrow. Thursday, hot, mainly dry. Could be some pop-ups late on Friday, but this weekend, especially, next big thing with respect to rain chances. Watch out for possibilities of some storms, some lightning producers Saturday, also on Sunday. And then next week, continuing with that chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. But mentioning again, going beyond the 7-day forecast, and meteorologist Jill Gilardi here. Jill, we were talking about that setup there late next week. It was, I believe, the 4 and 5 o'clock show tonight. We could still see some of the older data was showing that system, that tropical system in the Gulf, and then we got the noon update. It's no longer there. But, you know, in the wintertime, it's almost like every 2 weeks there's mention of maybe a chance of snow in the long range. We get the hurricane season. It seems like every 2 weeks the models want to show a tropical system, but you know, it's just too far out, and the data is going to change quite a bit.
Right. And the problem is like, okay, the theory is, well, it's showing up a bunch and it actually happened. Okay, you know, that's sure a possibility, but if we are saying that possibility way far out without comparing other models, seeing if they're, you know, agreeing with it, well, now we're creating panic way too soon. Now people are thinking I should cancel my plans. So that's why we're just trying to like settle down a little bit. Let's not believe what we're seeing so far, because you know what? Wes just showed you the newest run. Guess what? Earlier today, what was showing up? Look at that. Look at it. Was like a hurricane that was headed for the Gulf Coast, and oh my goodness, and this was shared all over the internet, and everyone's like, that's Memorial Day weekend and we better cancel our plans. And that's what it does when, you know, something like that gets posted. So what we do, yeah, we're looking beyond the 7 day. We're talking about it right here. You get the inside scoop. But again, we are not talking about that threat in our forecasts at all until we get closer. So again, we'll watch that. Yesterday, if you were watching and you keep up with Weather Extra, there was nothing across the area through Memorial Day. And then, you know, the earlier run had a hurricane, and now it's backing off to show nothing again, or maybe a little rain storm. So we'll keep you updated, but we have to see consistency, not only with one model, but multiple models showing the same thing. So we haven't gotten there yet, but we need some rain. We have some of that in the forecast. We're talking about 30% chance opportunities beyond the 7 day. The departure again each day gets a little bit worse. We're over 2 inches now, a little over 2 1/4, and the forecast for temperatures looks like we're going to be remaining above average 8 to 14 days out. So keep up with your local meteorologist. Be careful what kind of information you see shared by those you have no clue who they are. Wes?
Yeah, I know one thing. If we see something, we will certainly be the first to let you know about it. But we try to be as transparent as possible, and that's what we're seeing in some of the long-range data. We've been watching, you know, what's happening out there, and a lot of these models, these long-range models, factor in climatological, statistical data based on historical trends. So a lot of times you will see a lot of those tropical systems being generated by some of the data in the long range. But as we get a little bit closer, again, hurricane season's coming up. It's just a matter of time. We're going to have something out there we'll need to track and we'll need to monitor, but we'll be watching it closely. In the meantime, big story for us is going to be those scattered storms coming back this weekend. I'll be back to show you the 7 day forecast and also putting goats to use. Yeah, we'll show you that story after the break as well. We cover it all right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Stay with us.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert weather team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Well, when the weather is nice, some put goats to use when there are invasive plants around. Check out this story from Cincinnati.
14 goats are visiting Colerain Park for the next several weeks to maintain some of the overgrown greenery caused by invasive plants taking over the green space.
This is pretty much their favorite thing, is just to have a fresh patch and be introduced and have some nice weather like we've got today, where they can just eat and eat and eat and sit down and chew their cud, which is about what they're going to do soon.
Doug Crouch with Trio Permaculture says these goats will chew on honeysuckle and weeds that are keeping native plants from growing. Once the goats have eliminated much of the unwanted plants, new plants like pawpaw and witch hazel will be able to grow.
The goats are a great balance between the labor part and the chemical part. So we're organic, so we don't use chemicals. It's not an immediate, boom, the plants are gone, but it's a long-term goal of getting the park to look in a more natural way and have our native species be reintroduced.
Crouch says he encourages people to stop by and watch the goats at work. On a nice day like this, a lot of people and pets were already entertained by the animals grazing at the park.
The goats are a great interface to the public because it's just something that they're not used to seeing. And then we get to educate people about our native ecosystems, the role of the goats and how they can be of benefit to the ecosystem. And, you know, there's a lot of people who just have never seen a goat in their life.
Well, I think I found the solution at my place. It seems like weeds are starting to suddenly take over. I'm going to have to do a little yard work myself. Maybe find a goat out there that could help out with the mowing the lawn. As we check out the 7-day forecast, though, if you're planning some yard work over the next few days, try to get out there early because we've got some hotter afternoons on the way. I know we need to put the brakes on here a little bit. We don't want it to get too hot just yet. We haven't even made it to June, but coming up, we're going to be talking more about this weekend's rain chances, the chance for storms Saturday and Sunday, and it looks like that rain chance into next week. So be sure to check in with us tonight. 9, 9:30, and 10. We'll have more as we continue on WBRC Fox 6 News. In the meantime, enjoy the pleasant weather tonight. I'll have more on the changes ahead.